Hi, and thanks again for joining my channel. Today we're back in the laundry room, and this time around I'm going to be replacing the bellows on the Frigidaire front loading washer. I've had some issues with it in the recent past where a lot of clothing items have been shredded, and I did some research and it seems that will be the solution to it. I bought a replacement bellows, and today we're going to go through the steps of replacing that. I'll show you a sample of what the damaged clothing looks like, so if you've had a similar problem, you can solve it using this bellows replacement. So what you see here is my polo shirt. All this gray, not part of it. That's part of the bellows that's rubbed off on it, most likely on the spin cycle. If you see here, it's shredded. The holes all the way here, and there's another item of clothing. My daughter's polo shirt, shredded it through. To complete this repair, what we're going to need are a set of needle nose pliers. We're going to need a flathead screwdriver, and these spacers came with the bellows. So with those, we should be able to do the switch over. This is what the replacement bellows looks like. A little triangle tip there. There you see. I'll put it back. And the washer has a similar one. You want to make sure you align those when you're mounting it. I'm going to show you. If you can see there, yeah, there's the existing one. So you align that. So I've grabbed that with the needle nose pliers. Just pull it out. Once you have it out, zoom out a little bit. Once you have that out, you can take this. Alright, then the next step is to pull out the bellows from there. See, that's I had it the other way around. That's the connection for the water. I do not have an LED light in mind, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this edge of the needle nose pliers to try to cut out the zip tie. Just wanted to share a visual of what that looks like. See if we can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, just got the edge in there. Then I'm gonna squeeze. Alright, again, I need both hands to finagle this, so I'll be right back. Alright, there it is. Cut. Now we can disconnect the water supply. Alright, that's it in there. There we go. There we go. Disconnect the water supply. After disconnecting the water supply, the next step of this process is you can feel, right? It's a good idea to feel this before you remove it. If you move your hand on the outer side of the bellows, you feel where the spring is. You will not be able to see it in this video. But if you took out the entire faceplate, you'll see it. But try to get a view of what this looks like on the inside, because when you put the new bellows in here, you're gonna have to reposition this on that edge. Pull the bellows up to lift the spring and pull it out. Now, because of depending on the tension on the spring, it can be a little tough to get it out, and that's the inner spring. We're gonna reuse this, so just keep it handy. New bellows. We're gonna get this in. Right, this is the inner surface of the bellows. We're gonna lubricate this a little bit. Some people say use silicone, but you can use simple dish detergent. Rub it on here, and we're gonna try to plop it back in. All right. I wanted to share with you again where the bellows sits. Right, the outer rim of the bellows sits here. Right, so you have to fold it into that groove all the way around. Then the spring goes behind it and holds it in place. So that's what we're going to try to do in this first phase. Yeah. Again, this washer is over 12 years old, so it's been doing great so far. And you know, when you have a piece of machinery that's this old, eventually there are things that you have to fix on it. So let's get back to it. All right, we got the bellows in, but I struggled a lot to try to get it in from the front, and I realized something. There's more than one way of getting this done. It's a much easier way. I'm going to pull this out and show it again. Once you get the bellows in, right, you make sure it aligns with the arrows. Right. The one thing you got to realize is to put in the springs, right, to set the spring, you have to fold the bellows inward. So you can also try folding the bellows inward, since you have to get into this position anyway. It makes it a whole lot easier for you to see the anchor point at the top, right? So once you get that snapped in, it's much easier to go around and get it into position, right? So there, you just keep folding. Much easier. Done. So now that we got that in, the next step is to put back the inner spring. So the inner spring goes right there. So with this, work better if we have some type of a clamp. I went to the store and I bought 2-inch clamps, and these have like a strength of about, can hold up to 38 pounds. I think that should be more than enough for what we're doing here. Alright, a little bit of sweat, but I think we got it in. Let's take this off and see. So we ended up needing 3 clamps to get it in. Confirm the spring is in position. Yep, spring is in position. Then we'll pull this out. Still aligned. Connect the water line. Alright, got the water line back in. If you remember, we didn't have any LED lights for the inside, so this pulls out and tucks in like this. Again, advantageous if you have smaller hands, smaller fingers. If you don't, well, makes it a bit more challenging. But still possible for you to do it. That's back in. So if you see that, got this seal. Real nice. Now the outer ring goes right in there. Right, so you can start there from the top. You want to balance this such that this is right there at the bottom, right, that spring. So we're going to work the ring back into place. Use a little bit of extension that we get from that spring to get it back, and the tension should keep it in place. And we'll do a test run just to make sure that the washer doesn't leak. There we go. Spring is back in. Alright, so I'll bring the camera a bit closer so we check it out before the test run. There we are. You can see the metal spring, the metal ring in there. Right, that seals well on the outside. So I was just doing a rinse and spin. So water is getting into the drum right now. Obviously my reflection more than anything else, but you can hear it. So we know the connection is fine. As of now, I don't see any water on the floor, so there's no leak, which is great, because if we had a leak here, that would be a major issue. Now I'm just going to test it out with a few loads of laundry, and hopefully we don't end up with clothes that are shredded like this. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to share a couple of lessons learned. When installing the bellows, remember to lubricate it, and you don't have to do anything special. Dish soap, you have that around the house. Just lubricate the outer rim on your washer. You don't have to do it on the bellows itself. It makes it easier to handle. The bellows is not slippery when you try to get it into position. Second, when you're getting the bellows, the inner section of the bellows into position, fold it into the washer. It's easier to get it around and hook it in position. Third, get some spring clamps. Those are absolutely essential, especially if you have a lot of tension on your spring. And another point, when you're tensioning your spring, make sure you stretch it just about evenly, right? When you stretch it before you clamp it, make sure you've pulled that section into place because it holds that section firm. If you don't tension it enough and you get to, say, the last third of it, or if you're using 4 clamps, the last quadrant, and you try to stretch that portion of the spring all the way around the lip, you may exceed the elasticity of that spring, and it's just going to get damaged. And when you're done, when you're putting the outer ring, just start from the tip where you have the arrow on the washer and work it around, applying even amount of pressure on either side and pulling down gently as you work the ring around, and use the spring at the bottom to stretch it out, and you tuck it into the lip right there. Now, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helps you. I'm gonna hold on before I post this, or by the time I post this, I will confirm if this actually resolved the issue of shredding clothing. If it didn't, at least now you know how to replace your bellows if you have other issues with it. Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please click the like button and also subscribe to my channel. And as more videos come up, you get notified. Thank you.